Are we on?
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom.
This is Voice of a Watchman here on the Sabbath again, going into a new week. The Sabbath started a new week.
I want to say something real quick, Josh. There's a lot of Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Mexicans who are starting to listen to us. Please go to our website and go to the Israelite tribes, the Hebrew tribes, and you'll find out who you are. Okay. Go ahead, Josh.
Hold on. Say something right fast, Dad.
All right. It's been a joyous walk in understanding. But to say this right, I want to say right. Not having understanding in Christianity, I believe the Most High had used some of the knowledge I had in Christianity to come to the truth where I can hear the real scriptures of who these people are that wrote this Bible. And let me tell you, folks out there, if you don't believe that, you are definitely deceived or you're unlearned. It's either one. Someone's lied to you. Someone has deceived you. I have found out through research that 200 and something years ago, Rome, the powerful Rome, and England and France devised a plan to sign contracts with America. Why? To send their seminaries into America and poison the men and women in America. And they've done a good job. They've done a real good job. How come after 30 years, in Christianity, I never heard these scriptures, right, Tony, that we've heard now, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah.
In the last 5.5 years. 5.5 years. You know, it's amazing when someone wants to dialogue with me and they want to hear truth. You know what I tell them now? Well, you got about 5 years, 5.5 years, because that's how long it took us to come into truth. And we're still growing. So that's why we're going to open a Sabbath night here where we live in Orange Park North. And we're telling you, it's going to be at the pool. There's plenty of parking. We're going to start holding it August, the first Saturday in August. All right? What day is that, Mary, the first Saturday in August, Tony? What would it be? The 6th, 5th?
Let's see.
Just remember, the first Saturday, 7 o'clock because Friday night, I know a lot of you are coming out of Christianity and, you want to go out that night and whatever you're doing, but Friday night, when it gets dark, is the Sabbath. It's the only holy day in the week through the word of the Most High. So we're going to invite anybody who wants to come. It's going to be lessons. It's going to be Bible teaching, the correct teaching. You are going to learn a world of wisdom and understanding through the word, not through us, through his written word. So keep in touch with us. Okay, our number is 904-328-9303, 904-300-9754. Please send donations to josh.lavio@gmail.com. Thank you.
We have another powerful chapter tonight.
Yes.
But as we always do, I like to
thank you for that.
Shed some light on this world and how it operates, as we always do, as we always try to do, awake people, Jew or Gentile, to the way the system and the world works. If you look it up and do your own research, we find out that Richard Nixon so-called started the war on drugs as a way to railroad blacks and Hispanics into prison.
He put the drugs in your neighborhoods. It made sure
it started under the Nixon administration in the late 60s. Or was that in the early 70s? 60s, right?
You're right.
So they devised a plan where they would use the hippie movement because hippies smoked marijuana. So they would use the hippie movement to bring marijuana into the black neighborhoods, and we know that at that time, Vietnam was happening. The fake war in Vietnam, and a lot of people were coming home addicted to opium. Right? Because that's what grows in Asia, opium.
That's right.
So you had blacks coming home and Hispanics coming home addicted on heroin, opium and heroin. Heroin?
Yeah, that's it.
Heroin. Okay. And
it's okay, Josh. It's close.
So Nixon,
you don't say
who of course was impeached for the Watergate, the so-called Watergate scandal, which so basically Nixon used the hippie movement to start planting drugs through the FBI into black neighborhoods, and they started with a small drug, marijuana. Then they started moving it up to opium, heroin. Then in the 80s, cocaine
ESP,
and crack.
ESP, yeah, all that. Yeah, all that.
So
ESP and
it's definitely Washington is responsible for the drug addiction in the black neighborhood.
You can believe it because it's true.
Now, I'm not saying, of course, we know that you shouldn't defile your body, and I want to say this respectfully: you have to stop using the white man's drugs. That means illegal and pharmaceutical. You have to stop using his system, his drugs, because they are detrimental. And it's proven that the medicine that people use is not really doing nothing. It's making, and a lot of times it makes people worse. Just like the woman with the issue of blood. When Christ healed the woman who was sick for 12 years.
And she saw every doctor, and she got worse.
So let's read the Bible.
Awesome.
Let's go to the Word.
Yes.
Because our words don't really matter.
Right.
It's what he said.
That's right.
And again, research the war on drugs with Richard Nixon. You'll find out that the war on drugs is a war on blacks and Hispanics to railroad them into prison or the graveyard.
Now the whites are in the scheme of things, but it's directed and its agenda is at the children
of Israel.
All right.
Zechariah 11 verse 4.
Thus saith the Most High, my power. Feed the flock of the slaughter.
So we are responsible now to feed first the children of Israel who are being slaughtered by the system of Esau.
Wow. Whose persecutors slay them.
Whose possessors.
I'm sorry. Whose possessors.
Who's the possessors?
Slay them.
The government. Who slay them. They use the drugs, the police, the education, the spiritual system, the economic system to slay them. Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
They say it's your fault for being on drugs. It's your fault for killing each other in the street. Stop abusing your women. Wait a minute. You're the one causing. You're the one that promotes uses the television to constantly put a negative, a less than human image in their mind. And no wonder. So whose fault is it? It's your fault.
Wow. Well, that's good, Josh. Wow, that's good. I like this too. That hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Most High, for I am rich, and their own shepherds, their Christian pastors, pity them not.
So,
and not just pastors. Anybody who's like
their leadership has no true passion.
Right. Like mayors, governors.
Like your Al Sharptons.
Right.
They don't care about you. They're on the payroll.
That's right. Well, they should know better. Praise the Lord.
Okay, now go to Micah again.
Micah.
Micah 2, again, we read this last night. I want to go over this. Micah 2.
Good, awesome.
Micah 2, verse 1.
Okay.
So, as we said before, So we say again, the war, isn't it funny that, isn't it funny that whenever they start a so-called war on something, it gets worse?
Yeah.
Letting you know this, it's a
Don't
false,
wars end?
what they call a false flag or a proxy.
What did Bush say? This war is going to take almost forever, right? The war on drugs and terror, because the United States is the terrorists. They're the terrorists. No wonder it's going to take a long time. And Fool America listens to them instead of doing research. Who the real terrorists are.
So the American government uses the so-called something to actually use that to come behind it, and you start trying to exterminate people they want exterminated. Wow. So the war on drugs is just a genocide, really, against blacks and Hispanics. That's right. It's genocide, brother. So-called blacks and Hispanics.
It's done in a different fashion way today, where it's detectable, but you have to know. You have to do research.
Micah 2:1.
Ready? Woe to them that devise iniquity.
So woe to them who go to that think of evil. Read.
And work evil upon their beds.
So these people are so evil, they work it on their beds. They work how they can wake up and make laws to destroy and oppress their enemy. Read.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
So when the morning comes, they sign it into law, and they have the police agencies enforce their law. Read.
Because it is in the power of their hands.
So because they are above everybody, they get to determine what the rules are.
That's right.
Read.
And they covet fields.
So they want everyone's land. That's why you don't own land, really. You have to pay rent on it.
And take them by violence.
So if you don't pay your rent on your land, they seize it. The bank takes it.
And houses.
So, and we know the history that the Europeans stole the land. Read. Foreclosure. Read.
And take them away.
So they take your Section 8 away if you don't pay them. Read.
So they oppress a man in his house.
So they even think they're so high where they can come in a man's house and tell him how to rule his family.
Remember, this is Israel. Even a man and his heritage.
So they come and they take his heritage from him. Now let's go to Lamentations. After Jeremiah, before Jeremiah. Yeah. Lamentations 5:1. Lamentations 5:1. Lamentations 5:1. After Jeremiah.
I thought so. It's after Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's after Jeremiah. Before Ezekiel.
Right. 4:1, Josh, you said?
5:1.
5:1. Okay. How many games last night? Remember? It was good, huh? Good, awesome. Good. Okay. Lamentations. Everybody have it? Okay. 5:1. Remember, O Most High, what has come upon us.
So Jeremiah is crying out to God, and he's saying, Lord, remember. He's asking the Most High to remember the suffering that the nations have brought upon Israel.
Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
So we know that the Israelites, this land was stolen from the children of Israel. The Native Americans, the Europeans came here and stole and genocided them. Read.
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to what?
Aliens.
So who are they to call you an illegal alien?
Wow.
Right? They like to call you an illegal alien when they're the illegal. The Bible calls them aliens.
Come on. We are orphans and fatherless.
So because of that, the system has created a breeding ground for orphans and fatherless, and we know that people without fathers and orphans will usually do whatever it takes to be accepted, and they'll turn to drugs and gangs, because without a male in the home, a child, especially a male child, will desire acceptance from other men around him. So America has created the breeding ground for what we see in the ghetto. The government has created the breeding ground for what we see happening in the ghetto in America.
Come on. Our mothers are as widows.
So because they railroad the men into prison, they force EBT and food stamps on the Israelite women and make them think they can live without a man. Read.
We labor. Okay, wait. We have drunken our water for money.
So they make you pay for the water that your people had, and they poison your water. So they give you poison water for money. Read.
Come on. Our wood is sold unto us.
So the Native Americans have to buy wood that belongs to them from the white man.
Watch out.
Wow.
Our necks are under persecution.
So wherever you turn, EBT, you're persecuted. The police are persecuted. The courts are persecuted. Financially, educationally, religiously. Read.
We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians.
The Egypt, that's spiritual. That's speaking about the system.
Come on.
America is spiritual Egypt and Assyria.
That's right. And Babylon. That's right. To be satisfied with bread.
So we give Israel has been conditioned to give their service just for a morsel of bread to people who don't to a system who doesn't want them here.
To be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not.
So our fathers have sinned before us and are dead. Read.
And we have borne their iniquities.
So the iniquities of the fathers have carried over to the generations through slavery.
Of the Hebrews, that's right. Servants have ruled over us.
Who?
Servants.
So the Edomite power, the government, is the servant, and they're ruling over the king. That's get it. Hold that. Come back to that right fast, and then we'll go to our chapter and go to Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. Ecclesiastes Ecclesiastes 10.
Okay. That's Ecclesiastes. I forgot. I haven't read that one.
That's after Proverbs.
After Proverbs, right, Josh? Okay, right. I got it. 10, Josh?
10:5.
Oh, yeah, 10:5. I got it. All right, Ecclesiastes.
So we just
10,
read
5.
that servants rule over them.
This is a good precept. Listen now. Yeah, Josh. Well, we'll wait for you, Mary. It's all right. Oh, one today. Mind me, Tony, the 15th to change that filter. Ready? 10:5. This is an awesome precept to what we just read.
Yeah, this is a precept for Lamentations 5 verse 8.
All right.
Read
10:5, right?
10:5. Start
ready?
with 5.
There is an evil which I have seen under the sun.
So there is an evil which he saw. Now, of course, we know this would happen throughout the Israelite history, but this is also a prophecy through the Spirit that Solomon gave of the future. Read.
Which proceeded from the ruler.
So the rule
as an error which proceeded from the ruler.
The ruler in this case would be Esau.
Right. Go ahead.
So all his rule is evil.
Wow. Folly is set in great dignity.
So Esau sets sin in great respect. He allows homosexuality, lesbianism, LGBT.
Come on.
A whole bunch of other stuff. Read.
And the rich sit in low place.
So the Israelites are in slavery, are in poverty, in
rich
the ghetto.
In faith, right.
Read.
I have seen servants.
I have seen who?
Servants.
So your Bill Gates is a servant. All your so-called white heads of industry are servants. Your leaders are
all the
servants.
elite are just servants
They're
upon
slaves.
horses. And princes, the Hebrews, walking as servants upon the earth.
So the true kings are slaves to the servant.
That's right. Awesome. Awesome, brother.
Go back.
Go back to
read one more scripture. Lamentations.
Okay.
5 and 9.
Lamentations 5:9.
8.
Yeah, finish 8, Dad.
Okay. Lamentations 5:8. Servants have ruled over us. We just read that.
Mm-hmm.
There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand.
So no man can deliver Israel out of this captivity but God.
We get our bread with the peril of our lives.
So we have to put our lives in error just to eat, in peril of death just to eat.
Wow.
Because we know that black people have to work twice as hard on the workplace to gain acceptance, which causes them mental illnesses. Read.
Come on. Because of the sword of the wilderness,
So
our skin was black like an oven. No, they're people of color. And some of them are, but most of the Hebrews are black. I just finished that. Where are we going?
Hebrews.
Hebrews.
Go to Hebrews.
Oh, we're going to Hebrews? Okay. Hebrews. Good book. Good book, Josh. Where, Josh? This is all broken up. Oh, you got that book. Hebrews where?
9.
Okay, yeah, I got that. I think, yeah. Hebrews 9. Where? The beginning, Josh? Huh? The beginning?
Uh-huh.
First verse? Everybody have it? We'll wait for everyone. Hebrews 9 out there.
Mm-hmm.
You follow this ministry, you better have your Bible ready. This way you can't call us and ask us, where are you getting this from? We're getting it from the Word. Just that many Christians don't realize that they're in the Christian church and they've been deceived and took their heritage away. All their heritage is lost. The Christian church took your heritage away. That's why you can't see this book as your people. Ready?
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, say something.
as we've heard,
Just say, praise him if you got it. We have it? Everybody have it?
Praise him.
Okay.
so
You got it, Josh? Hebrews?
as we just read, we see there is a plan, a secret plan that these people plot against them every day. So it's always continuing. It's continual.
Wow.
It's a continual plan of genocide and political sabotage. So it's clear who the children of Israel, but
Yes.
let's Hebrews 9 and 1.
Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service. And
So the first covenant, which is the Mosaic covenant, had the ordinances of the sacrificial system. Read.
you have it?
Read.
And also ordinance of divine service and a worldly sanctuary.
So the worldly sanctuary is the tabernacle, the one that Moses made originally. That was a foretaste of the temple, which is a shadow of the body of the person, the believer.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, the light, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. The altar, the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant.
So all the furniture that God apparently told Moses to have in the in the tabernacle was there. The censer, which they would use to put frankincense, all the perfume, the holy of the holies. The of course the Ark of the Covenant, which housed the staff of Aaron, the bowl of manna, and the 10 Commandments.
All right. Read. So I'll skip that. And the Ark of the Covenant, overlaid round about with gold.
Read.
Wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant, or tablets, and over it the cherubim of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Read.
Now, when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle. So
Aaron would always go into the first tabernacle, and his sons, read, who were Levites. Now the priest is the priest of over Israel is a Judite, the Messiah, a Yehudite, Yashayah. Read.
Accomplishing the service of Ahayah. But into the second went the high priest also once every year, not without blood.
So the priest, Aaron, or his sons would have to take blood on a certain day, read, or the blood of an animal, of course, read,
which is offered for himself and for the errors of the people. The Holy Spirit, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest.
The true way into the presence of God through Christ was not yet made manifest because Christ didn't come and tear the veil yet. Of course, this was speaking about under the Mosaic giving of the law.
While as the first tabernacle was set standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices.
So, of course, we know that the sacrificial system was operating in the tabernacle. Whenever you sinned, you would bring a sacrifice to Aaron or his sons. You would have to ritually purify yourself, and they would take your sacrifice and they would burn it, and they would shed the blood, and the blood would forgive that individual of their sin. But only it wouldn't forgive; it would cover.
That could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience.
So the inward man could not be purified through an animal's
blood. We can
blood.
be perfect now with Christ and the Lord. Okay. Which stood only in the meats and drinks, and divers washings and carnal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
Now the time of Reformation, the Reformation came under the Mashiach. Read. That's when he came and shed his blood to begin the new covenant.
But Christ being come a high priest of good things to come, by a greater, more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having ordained eternal redemption for us.
So Christ, when he shed his blood and he went into heaven, he redeemed Israel and those who would believe. Of course, you have to believe and be baptized for that to be applied to you as an individual.
For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to the Most High, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power.
Now the dead works, people were still trying.
Wait, so his blood just doesn't cleanse you from sin. It cleanses you from a sin conscience.
Right.
Right?
So hold on. So we have to present ourselves daily as an acceptable sacrifice to the Most High, because this is our service to Him, based on what He's done and sending His Son to die for us. We have to live a righteous and holy life to be accepted by Him, because Christ lived a righteous and holy life and was accepted from God, of God.
Because if He said we can live perfect and be holy, we can. We can. But because of the brainwashing in religion, it's almost impossible.
Read.
But nothing's impossible.
Verse 14.
All right, ready?
No, verse 15.
15. Ready? And for this cause, He is the mediator of the new covenant.
So Christ now is the priest of the New Testament, of the new covenant.
Doesn't mean the law was done away with. That by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions.
Now the who?
Transgressions.
Read.
That were under the first testament.
Now that's another. Let's get the precept. Go to John 3:14.
The gospel.
Yeah, John 3:14. The Gospel of John 3:14.
Okay.
We're going to understand what it means. Who are the first transgressors under, and who was Christ's death originally, before anyone else was included? Who was Christ's death applied to?
Was it 5 what?
John 3.
14. I heard it. Okay, 3:14. Okay.
So we just read in Hebrews that a mediator of the New Testament, New Covenant, by the means of death, for the redemption of the transgressors who were under the first testament. Now, John 3:14.
Ready? And as Moses lifted up.
And as who?
Moses.
And as who?
Moses.
So who was with Moses? The Israelites. Read.
Come on. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Read.
That Yashayah, that believing in that what? Yashayah, believe what? No, I got a word crossed out. What happened? What word is there?
That whosoever.
Oh, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have eternal life.
So,
wow.
The whosoever is speaking about the children of Israel, because that's who was with Moses in the wilderness. Now read verse 16.
For Ahayah, for the Most High so loved the world.
Now who is the world?
Come on, Josh.
Hold that.
Now we're going to show you He'll love the whole world.
Hold that. Isaiah 45:17.
Isaiah 45:17.
And of course, this is going to help us understand
45:17.
The Hebrews 9:15. Isaiah 45:17. So we just started reading John 3:16, which is the most misunderstood Bible scripture in the whole Bible.
That's right.
Thanks to Christianity twisting, the Christian clergy always twisting it. Isaiah 45:17. Read.
Mary, do you have it? Okay. But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But everybody.
But Israel.
But everybody.
But Israel.
Read.
Shall be saved in the Most High with an everlasting salvation. Is she? Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
So the world is Israel.
Read. It's 5 worlds. Can I tell them? There's the cosmos. Kelvin does. What else, Tony? There's 5 worlds. There's the world of Israel, the cosmos, the earth, and there's 2 more. I forgot. All right, but there's 5. All right, it's 5 worlds. Yeah, so we just read it to you. It's the world of Israel. Josh, that was good you said that. That's a misunderstood.
Now back to John 3:16. So Israel shall be saved in the Most High with an eternal salvation. They shall not be ashamed or confounded, world without end.
3, where, Josh? 16 or 17. Okay. For Ahayah so loved the world.
The who?
The Most High so loved the world of Israel.
So the world there, according to the Bible, is Israel.
That he gave his only begotten son.
So Yashayah was sent for his people.
That whosoever believeth in him should not perish.
Okay, now go back to Hebrews 9:15, where we were.
Josh,
No, Hebrews.
No, I know. What was that? That was in Isaiah.
45:17.
I want to remember that. 45:17, right? Okay.
Now we just read.
Hold on.
We just read John 3:14 through 15 and Isaiah 45:17.
Hold on. I want to remember that. Hold on. Because I meet a lot of Christians out there that just, they, hold on, Josh.
And by the way, I want to show.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. I'm doing something. Hold on. I don't want to lose that, Josh. 45, you said?
45:17.
All right. Go ahead, Josh. You want to see King James? You want to show?
Yeah. For your information, this is not King James.
That is not King James.
King James is a black man, a
That's
Hebrew
right.
Israelite.
That's right.
King James was not a white man.
That's right. Now, where are we going back to? Where are we going, Josh? John?
No.
Hebrews.
Hebrews 9:15. And just start the verse over. So just to make sure, we're breaking down Hebrews.
What verse are we in now?
Hebrews 9:15. We went to John 3:14 through 15, then Isaiah 45:17.
That's awesome. For this cause, he is the mediator, right?
Hebrews 9.
Yeah, 15 you said.
You're right.
Yep, you're right.
All right.
I was just.
It's all right. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament.
So the New Testament, of course, we can read. The New Testament was given. The Testament was given to Israel. That's Jeremiah 31, then Hebrews 8.
Come on.
Talking about how he would put the law inside of us, inside of his people, so they would be the teachers of the earth again,
awesome.
Under him, under the Most High. Read.
And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Now we know the inheritance is to the Israelites. They will inherit the earth and rulership under Christ. That's what the whole book of Revelation.
And you get a chance tonight, viewers, read Hebrews 8, where he doesn't mention nothing about asking Christ in your heart and being religious. He's going to put his spirit in your mind.
And go and read Jeremiah 31, starting at 31, and Hebrews 8, starting with around verse 7. And you'll get the picture of what we're saying.
I asked a Christian one day, I said, you ask Christ in your heart? That doesn't save you. Show me the
Hopefully, through studying the book of Hebrews with us over these last couple weeks.
Yeah.
We have been able to really learn the overall message of the book of Hebrews.
Awesome.
This is why I feel led to study these books, like we're studying Mark as well. We're learning a lot of deep things that are within the book of Mark that we probably have never been seen in our prior learning in Christianity. Like we're rediscovering the book of Hebrews.
That's right.
So Hebrews 9:16.
For where a testament is, there must also
where a testament is, read.
All right. There must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
So Moses died, and the Old Testament, the law did not have a testator anymore under Moses.
I see.
So now Christ died and resurrected. Now he is the permanent testator of the covenant.
Wow. For a testament is of force after men are dead.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator
Now,
liveth.
when Christ died, he ended the Mosaic sacrificial law system. He did not remove the whole law.
Come on.
I'll say that again.
Say it again.
When Christ died, he did not remove the whole law. He removed the sacrificial part of the Levitical law under Moses.
That's right.
Verse-
Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood.
So we know that a blood sacrifice is needed to shed and remit sins.
For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people, precept according to the law,
Mm-hmm.
he took the blood of calves and of goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop and sprinkled both the book and all the people.
So when Moses
Wow.
cut the first covenant on Sinai, he dipped hyssop in blood and he sprinkled the people.
Wow.
Read.
Okay. Saying, this is the blood of the testament which Ahayah hath enjoined unto you.
So when God enjoins himself to a race of people, those people become his.
Come on.
And
Good.
they are now his God. And so when they break, it's like when you have a child and he disobeys you, that child is going to be disciplined. You're going to lock him in a room. You're going to take his privileges away. You may even take his privileges away for a month. No phone, no nothing, right?
Mhm.
If he does something bad enough, you're going to make him think about it. So vice versa, God has done the same thing to his people, but according to Isaiah, and we'll read that. Actually, let's go to Isaiah again. Isaiah 1. Isaiah 1 and 3. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. Out there, Isaiah 1 and 3. So how serious is this blindness on his people? What does God compare his people to in the Bible under this captivity? Isaiah 1 verse 3.
Okay, give me a second. Isaiah 1.
Verse 3.
Everybody have it? Okay. Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner,
So every oxen knows who he belongs to. Read.
and the ass his master's crib.
So a donkey, if you take a donkey away from his master, he will find his crib again. He will walk back however long, and he will be right back where he belongs. Read.
But Israel doth not know.
So Israel doesn't know the way back to their God under this captivity.
My
Read.
people doth not consider.
So they don't even consider their land, their people, their culture. They don't consider their God, who their real God is, or they don't consider who they are. Hebrews 9, verse 21.
Okay. 21.
So God has enjoined himself to the children of Israel in a special way. They are uniquely his people.
That's right.
That's what Amos says when he says, only you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Amos 3.
I want to end tonight. I want to get to the scripture in Psalms 140, 147, 19 and 20, okay? And amongst all things are by the law purged with blood, by the law, blood. And without shedding of blood is no remission.
So without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission.
That's right. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these.
Uh-huh.
For Christ is not entered into the holy place made with hands, which are the figures of the true, all right, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of the Most High for us.
So now he has entered into the heavenly tabernacle
Sitting at the right.
to intercede for his followers, his people.
But, okay, nor yet that he should offer himself often, as the high priest entereth into the holy place every year with blood of others. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself.
So he has put away sin for those of us who are baptized in his name. When you are baptized under Christ, your sins are put away. In other words, he doesn't bring them up. You are sinless in his sight.
And as it is appointed unto men once to die,
so
to die once.
Now you have to live as perfect as you can.
That's right.
To maintain that holiness. It's not a once all and is all. You have to live according to the Bible, keep his law, statutes, and commandments.
But after this, the judgment.
So once we die, meaning there's no reincarnation, there's no coming back. You
Right.
only get one chance in this life.
That's it.
Read.
So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many. And unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto Yashayah, salvation.
That's right.
Salvation. Salvation means Yashayah. Yashayah. Oh, I gotta pass that. This is Jeremiah. Or whatever. Hey, Jeremiah, you gotta wait for me. Here you go. Videos.
Go back to Lamentations right fast, and we'll close.
All right, Lamentations.
Lamentations 5 and 11.
All right. That's right after Jeremiah. Right?
Yeah, Lamentations 5:11.
I got it. Okay, let's wait for everyone. Wow, it was good tonight, Josh. How was our viewers last night? Good? Good, good.
Lamentations 5:11.
Brothers being blessed, sisters. It's good. Okay, everybody happy? There. Look. I mean, that's so cool. Look, she's right near the air conditioner. He's smart. He's smart. Cool. Ready? Oh, yeah. Okay, ready? Lamentations 5:11. We have it? They ravished the woman in Zion.
So they raped. We know that the history. They raped the women on the slave ships and on the plantations. Read.
And the maids in the cities of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hand.
So
wow.
When the native people were here, they would hang people by their hands. The Europeans, they would chop their heads off. Read.
The faces of elders were not honored.
So they didn't honor the faces of the Hebrew elders. They killed them all. Read.
They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood.
So they made them grind in the mill, and they put the children to death.
The elders have ceased from the gate. The young men from their music.
So there's no joyous, there's no music. They've ceased from themselves.
Being blessed, that's right. The joy of our heart is ceased.
Our dance is turned into mourning.
Louder, man.
Our dance is turned into mourning.
Yeah.
The crown is falling from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned.
So we see the condition.
Yes.
I mean,
we really do. It's just something that I
do
believe.
you see is the question?
Yes,
The
that's
answer, the
right.
question.
Just going to say that we see Hebrew.
Let's finish. Let's go.
Afro-Americans, wake up. Spanish.
Bless you.
Let's
Let's finish in Psalms 147.
Can I read that, Josh? Yes.
Psalms 147.
No, you read it. I'm going to break it down, Josh. You read it. Now, listen, I'm going to do this to close. This is what I showed an Afro-American in Walmart. And you know what? And after I did this with him, the Most High told me to do this with him like this, he got blessed. He told me I never, you know why, brother? Because they don't break it down. They don't use precepts of the Christian church. I'm hearing this from so many Christians lately that when they go to their church, they leave empty. There's like an emptiness. They're tired just from yelling and screaming.
Psalms.
Okay.
We all have it.
Everybody have it, Tony?
Yeah. Psalms 147, verse 19.
Listen.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
No. He shows his word to everybody.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
No, unto Christians.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
Come on.
His statutes and his judgments to Israel.
To everybody.
To Israel.
The whole world.
To Israel.
Go ahead.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
No, he deals with all nations the same way.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Go ahead.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Okay, so right there it tells you how strong he feels about his people who are deceived in America today and all over the world. Josh and our family, my wife, everybody, we listen to some Christians that are trying to tell Israel that America's their friends, and you want to see the way they twisted the Bible, man. You better be careful where you're sitting on Sunday. I'm telling you, you better be careful. And that's a warning in love to you, in kindness, not condemning you. Open your spiritual eyes. Open your blinders.
You got to look. You got to see.
A brother told me that he goes to Shiloh. He was sitting like this at the tire place. I said, what's the matter, brother? He says, I hear things this pastor says. I just don't agree. I said, you're not going to agree because the Most High is going to deal. What, Joel? I'll pour out my spirit upon all. He didn't mean the whole world flesh. No, he didn't. On all flesh that know me, his Hebrews. So if you're Hebrew, he's dealing with you. He's showing you.
Just to close, I want to close with this.
Yeah, good. I'll break it down.
Let's show them the judgment.
All right,
judgment day. Joel 3. Joel 3. Let's show them the judgment and we'll close. Joel 3:1. What is the second coming all about? What is the second coming of Christ truly about? Mark and remember this. It's about the deliverance of a people.
Come on.
And a lot of people don't understand that because you haven't been oppressed and had stuff taken away. You haven't had literally your life taken away and are living a fake one.
Let me say this too, because they have appeased you. They're giving you jobs, car, a little money in the bank. That's why you don't care. Many Christians say,
and you have to keep slaving to have those things.
That's right.
That's not life.
That isn't life. Get the book, Hebrews to Negroes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what the judgment day is about.
Joel
3.
3 what, Josh?
3:1.
3:1. Ready? For behold.
For what?
For behold.
Read.
Consider, look, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah. And Jerusalem.
God, the Most High, is going to bring Israel and Judah back to their land.
Come on.
They did not go back there.
Then into that land.
In 1948. That is a lie.
Those are not the Israelites. Those are not the Hebrews.
That is a lie.
Come on.
That is what the UN did.
Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9. Read it.
Uh-huh.
I will also gather all nations.
So now this is about the judgment day.
Come on. And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
The valley of Jehoshaphat. Read.
And will plead with them there for my people.
So I will plead with them there for my people.
All people.
For what?
All people.
For my people.
My people.
Read.
And for my heritage.
My what?
For my heritage.
No, everyone
Israel.
is Israel. Everybody.
Everybody.
Read.
Whom they have scattered.
Whom they have what?
Scattered.
What?
Scattered.
So
they're not in Israel. among the nations and parted my land. Yeah. Come on.
That cuts it right there.
Let's deny the word. Let's deny the word.
That's a cut.
Go listen
The
to
people
your
in Israel are not the Jews. The Bible clearly says that the people of Israel will be scattered, which will make God have to bring them back.
Right, they're scattered. They're not there now.
That means that all Israel is and Judah is not even near the land.
Not even near it. And the blacks that are trying to get out are having a hard time getting out because they're hated there, because that's the biggest homosexual nation in the world right now, Israel. And you tell me God loves them? You're listening to Hagee and all these Christians tell you that they're friends.
Copeland.
Go ahead, go listen to them. They're lying to you. You're sending money there? Blind people, man.
Verse 3.
Okay, ready? And they have cast lots for my people.
They have what?
Cast lots for my people.
When have white Jews had masters bid for them on a slave auction block? Right? And when have white Jews had people bid for them on auction on NFL auction blocks, or which are auction blocks, by the way? The NFL draft is just a slave market. The NBA draft is a slave market. The MLB draft is a slave market.
It's sad to say. I know you love sports. I loved it all my life. I mean,
you got to look at it the way it is.
Yeah.
It's modern slavery.
Don't they sell a ball player,
dollars,
right, to another camp?
And as soon as you sign a contract, they own your rights. You literally belong to them. It
has nothing to do with being prejudiced. It's the truth. They're just a slave block. That's all it is. Owners get billions.
And you have to slave for them to make their name great.
Is there a black man in the world today that owns a team? No, you're not going to see it.
And those who may own a team, you are only given that privilege. It's a privilege. There's one sports team that actually does have a black owner.
Who's that, Josh? How do you know that?
In basketball.
Who is it?
The LA Lakers.
Oh, okay.
Magic Johnson, who was one of the greatest basketball players, actually owns that team. But see, he still has to work to maintain the wealth.
Okay. All right.
The difference between, and that's another thing. There's a massive difference between being wealthy, rich and wealthy. Rich people like Magic Johnson has to work. The people that originally owned the Lakers, those people don't have to work because they're billionaires. So they pay out these crummy salaries as if that's anything. That's really nothing to them. What is $1 million to a billionaire? Right?
That's right.
What's $1 million to a billionaire?
So, Josh, I mean, that is a good step if there is one brother that owns a team, though. That's good, right? Not really, but he don't own fully, right?
I don't know. I think he actually does own the team.
Well, good.
But I mean, what good is it?
Right.
He's just like a black slave master.
Yeah, you know why? Because the heritage is still hidden. You understand? Your identity is still hidden. I know what Josh is saying.
So read verse 3 again. Start verse 3 over.
And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot.
So they would also, the slave masters would also rape men.
And sold a girl for wine.
So they would sell the slaves for wine and guns, whatever trade goods. Read.
That they might drink.
Read.
Yea. And that have ye to do, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Tyre and Zidon are Africans or Hamitic people. Read.
Come on, and all the coast of Palestine, Palestinian, will ye render me a recompense?
Read.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
So I will return I will repay you for selling my children away to the Greeks.
Wow.
To the white man. Read.
Because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried it into your temples, my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold.
Have you what?
Have ye sold?
Have you what?
Sold
Read.
it unto the Grecians.
Unto the who?
Grecians.
The
Greeks,
Grecians are the white man.
that ye might remove them far from their border.
The Grecians are, and we also know that the Jewish people actually own the majority of the slave ships, auction blocks, like they own New York, right? The Lehman Brothers and all the rich Jewish billionaire families. That's why they used to call it New York, because that's who owns it.
You know, wait a minute, I want to say something. I have no problem with the Hebrews, when I'm seeing them blessed. I'm blessed when I see them. I am. But what bothers me is they don't know who they are.
What good is it?
Yeah, what good is it? Like Josh said, Magic Johnson, he owns a team.
What good is it?
What's this? Listen, if he finds out who he is, they'll kill him. Like they killed Reggie Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to keep him happy, they gave him a team.
You see, maybe that's what it is. But I'm really glad in the way too. I'm really
now. If you research the FBI, if they want to learn how to take someone down, what they do is they study them. They study what they like to eat, the way they dress,
and you'll find out what you'll find out.
What they like to listen to,
oh, yeah.
And all these different things to conquer you. So the FBI and the CIA has diligently been watching blacks, and so when they created, like I said, research the drug. Everyone, this is almost should be common knowledge, but the drug war is a war on blacks.
It's not black. It's on the Hebrew children who don't know they're Hebrews.
So
keep that in mind now.
Then what they did was they moved the music from R&B, Motown, New Edition to Ice Cube.
I'm sure you've seen that movie, The New Edition. Look what they did. Look what the producers did to those children. Okay, there it is right there in black and white. Them trying to rule over them. And guess what? We even found out that the words in rap, the Jewish people that rule the world, you have to sing their words. They get their words sensitive. So, if you don't sing those dirty words, you don't get famous.
Then back in the early 80s, then you had the rap movement start with NWA and Ice-T and Ice Cube and the Ghetto Boys and Heavy D and all these different rappers who the Jewish people, the Jewish billionaires who ran these specific board, like Jerry Heller and Ruthless Records, Lyle Colin of Def Jam, and Jimmy Iovine, and Interscope. They saw this movement as something they could prosper off of, so they created the whole gangster, the heavy Raider,
did that.
the Raider jacket image, the drugs.
What's this? Tell a vision.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got the word. Tell a vision.
So they used the music to further push the drug culture on the black neighborhoods, because they know that black people will follow whatever they see on the television. So they put these black boys who probably came from single parent homes without a father, thanks to the prison system, by the way. They put these little black boys, gave them millions of dollars after they were in debt, which they had to pay off, because that's the way the music industry works. You start off in thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. That's why most artists, when they start off, they have to live in poverty, because they're literally broke. They have no money.
What happens to a lot of sports players, especially now when you see the announcers coming from sports,
So what
Yes, they are
happened
coming
was
out of money. They're getting out of money.
these three main Jewish
They have to work.
people, Jerry Heller, Jimmy Iovine, and Lyle Cohen, saw this movement of it really started what they would call conscious rap, of them telling the story, telling people what was really happening to them, and they bankrupt an educational movement of music to a degree, and they started corrupting it with drugs, the gangster look, the heavy Raider jackets, the disrespect to the black woman, started calling black women hoes and sluts.
That's what they got.
And depicting them as loose.
And you always think that the black people made these sayings up. No, they didn't. That's where they got this from. Not all of it, but most.
So black people cannot have anything popular that is mainstream without Jewish hands on it first. So Jewish people actually invented the black culture in America.
Yeah, that's true.
Black people, that's what I said last night. Of all races, black people have no culture. Hispanics have no culture.
That's right.
That blacks and Hispanics are the only people who have to live with subcultures. Right? They're the only people who have to put up with not having something to look back thousands of years to.
Josh, I want to say something tonight. I know there's a lot of Afro-Americans that listen to us, and we love you to listen. It's not too late to start an economy within your own economy. And I'm going to try to bring that as well as I can Wednesday night. Listen to us. We're going to be live, about 7, Josh? Maybe 7:30? Josh and me are going to bring it together. I'm telling you, we have found a way that you, if you really find unity in your own people. This girl knew what I was saying the other day at Walmart. She admitted that, I don't like Spanish people. You got to stop doing that, sister. You're the tribes of Israel in this nation. If you came together, you would never have a poor neighborhood. But because Deuteronomy says your eye is evil against each other, right, Josh? So we're going to bring all these scriptures. We're going to show you that if you brought a very little money each week from all the churches in the nation, or every, Josh, every state would get together with a bank, a lending department. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So just wanted to share that. Get finish, Josh.
So, as I was saying before, I just wanted to add some little more nuggets of information. So, after the CIA and all these people started infiltrating with the marijuana and the heroin and the crack, they brought the music that will keep that fomenting. Because
wait, honestly, hasn't it got more demonic, right? Right? The more demonic, men are dressing with women's clothes, right? In hip hop and all this, it's going to get worse because of money, because of the
Jewish people have, especially the Jewish people,
control
of all the white elite families, they seek to demean and destroy the rich billionaire Jewish people who control the media. They seek to destroy the black and Hispanic men the most, because they are the seed of their father the devil, like Christ said.
You serpents, vipers. That's right. Well, we are going to say that we are really endeavored to stay on the air here and to keep going and to keep bringing truth to hungry souls, hungry spirits that want truth, especially in the Christian church where you've been lied to. Not all scripture, you've been lied to by a lot of falsehood, a lot of philosophy. Okay.
Shalom.
Shalom.